Pro Wrestling Edge is back. We are here. We have a guest joining us. I am Dan O'Mac. I'm joined by my tag team partners, the original bro, Josh. What's up, my man?
What up, Dan? How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing well that your audio's fixed. Since
So
we haven't
it's
had
been
you
rough
talking on the last few. We kicked you off the last one because we couldn't hear you, so we're glad to have you back. And our guest is glad to have you here with us, too, because, he loves us all. So we appreciate that, getting that audio worked out there, Josh. The
so am I. I missed you guys.
We missed you, too. Meadowbrook Mobster, Nick the Gooch. What's up?
It's another day, another dollar in this life, man. You know how it is.
Gooch. Gotta say it twice.
Nick the Gooch, the name's so nice, you gotta say it twice.
Yeah, that's what Mance thought, so we gotta say it twice. If Mance Warner says it, we gotta say it twice. What's up? What's up, Gooch?
Just sitting around trying to get back in this artwork game like I have been this past couple weeks, getting that practice in. And
you got something nice brewing. We can't wait to see the final.
I actually that little something you're talking about was actually delivered on Friday to who it was for and who the merch is coming out. So I'm obviously not going to say names or say what it is because we're going to let that
man. Stay tuned. That's what you're saying. Stay tuned on that. Nice.
Yeah, stay tuned. Definitely stay tuned. Possibly some more work coming for me. We'll see how it goes.
Brandon will be joining us soon. He's on his way home from work, so he'll be joining us soon. Nick, let our listeners know where they can find you.
On Twitter, my handle is NickKaz1. Facebook, my name, Nick Kazalukas. On Instagram, PWE The Gooch. And unfortunately, right now, I'm officially calling it Dunzo with the TikTok. So, yeah, I'm at the point, I'm at these shows, man. I want to enjoy what I can while we still have these shows, so I don't have a whole lot of my phone out. When I do, it's just, do what we do, get these pictures of these guys that are doing what they're doing for us, and just getting their pictures out and promoting them online, man.
Okay, I never looked at your TikTok, so just so you know.
I kind of figured, you and Josh, I know you guys didn't download it or nothing, and, I can't even get support from my own damn teammates here, so why the hell have it?
Where can we find your brother?
On Twitter, you can find him at PWE Big Kaz and at his name, Brandon Kazalukas, on Facebook. What about you, Josh?
You can find me on Twitter at OriginalBro19, Instagram, JRod19, and then you can find me on my normal name, Josh Rakowski, on Facebook. How about yourself, Dan O'Mac?
Dan O'Mac 17 on Instagram and Twitter. The podcast at PWE Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Pro Edge Productions on YouTube. Subscribe, like, hit that bell so you can get all the new videos that come out. You can listen to us wherever you listen to a podcast. Spotify, Google, Apple, all of them. We're on all of them. So I think we've talked too much. Let's just get to our guests. So bringing the BDE to PWE is Schwartzy, Joseph Schwartz. What is up, cousin?
How's it going? Jazz hands, baby.
Hey, man. We are so excited and happy.
I'm glad to be here. You guys are awesome. What you guys do is super important to pro wrestling, and it's all. I appreciate you guys very much.
We've seen you a lot lately. We're going to talk about some of that. I know the first time that I saw you and Randy were at BCWA's The Bomb Shelter.
We were.
It was a big 5 or 10-man scrambled tag.
Oh, yeah.
Chase Burnett was in it, and Jake Frost was in it. There was a ton of people in it. That was the first time I saw you guys. And I went up and talked to you guys. You guys had your little gimmick table. I was like, this dude's just cool. Down to earth, a nice dude. And then, things happen, go through all this stuff. And then we get into this year and COVID shuts us down and we don't hear about Joseph Schwartz for a little bit here in Michigan. And then you made your triumphant return, bringing that
big triumphant return.
Big triumphant return with that big energy you got. So we're going to talk about all that. I know Nick is dying to talk with you a little bit and ask you some questions. So, Nick,
Absolutely.
I'm going to let you go ahead and take it, Gooch.
So obviously, my first time was seeing you was at the last PW, not the one that just passed, but the PWAS show before. I really dug the whole character you got there, the energy you bring to it. Starting out in the business, I seen you trained with Dan Severn and Jack the Thriller and Josh Abercrombie.
That is false information on the
false
internet.
information.
Yes. Did
Clear
you
that
cage
up
me? You must have cage matched me. No, I was brought into business by Jeff King, old timer Jeff King.
Jeff King brought you in.
Yeah, he brought me into the business. I was in college, and I ran a nightclub, and I wanted to run a wrestling show. I always wanted to be a wrestler. I just didn't think you could. And he rented a ring to me, and he asked me if I wanted to be a wrestler. And one thing led to another. I'm at his house one day. His house. Okay, so like you guys know Old Timer, right? You guys are familiar with the whole fucking deal. Like, and you've seen his promos recently. So like, let me really.
Yes.
He lived at the time on like a farm property. So we set this ring up in a cornfield, and I trained with Old Timer in a cornfield under the sun, just like you'd think an Old Timer Jeff King would train anybody, like for like a solid year.
That is fucking amazing.
Yeah. And then from there, I moved to Detroit, where Truth Martini opened his arms out to me. I'll always be grateful for that. Still does. Lets me come to the facility. And American Kickboxer was training there at the time. I think Truth had some like ROH duties, so he was like really split between his time. And Kickboxer like cleaned me up. You know, he's the guy that trained Drake Younger, Scotty Vortex, Isaiah, Apollo Star, all those guys. You know, innovated cruiserweight wrestling on the indies with Tarek the Great. So, you know, I learned a lot from him. I never stopped learning, and I think that's why I like wrestling, is like you can always learn something new when you get bored. But those would be the two people I greatly attribute everything I know in this business to.
Well, I love Truth Martini. I'm a huge Truth
three people. Sorry.
I'm a huge Truth Martini guy. I went out and I interviewed him at the school, and he's just an awesome dude. So when anyone says I'm not surprised that you have some kind of tie with Truth Martini. It seems like I like everyone that he's trained. And so I'm sorry, Nick. I just had to throw in my little.
No, you're good, man. I was just gonna say those are just some amazing names to, have underneath your belt of being with and training from.
The Dan Severn thing, my first year in the business. Well, I was a referee my first year. My trainers made me ref before I wrestled, and it was just a different time. They made me ref for like a full year almost before I wrestled. But then I wrestled at Dan Severn's, and Jack Thriller was running it at the time. And like, I'll be damned if I didn't show up early and roll around with everybody. They had blue mat matches you had to practice, no ring matches with no in the blue wrestling mats you see in collegiate schools. And you had to perform 5 quality wrestling matches. You didn't have to do nothing crazy, but to pass. And I was like, I want to do those matches anyway. And I passed 5 blue mat matches in a school I wasn't even part of.
Nice.
I mean, I love wrestling. I love wrestling.
So you said it was how long that you ref before you actually were able to get
a year.
into it?
Like my trainers made me ref for a full year, and they were like, "No, you're gonna learn how to get comfortable in a ring before you go embarrass yourself." And I'm grateful for that. I'm not saying it should be that's how everybody should go, but that's how I went, and it was good to me.
That's awesome, though, man. That's awesome. So obviously, where Google took me, there was a lot of misinformation. I see there. How many nicknames or alter egos have you actually had aside from just Joseph Schwartz?
Oh my God!
I'm gonna ask you this instead of naming him off, so I don't make.
Let's run them down, shall we? I started the business as Scotty Nice. It was my nickname in college. That lasted about a month, but stuck to the internet like glue. I wanted to change my gimmick up. I wanted to change my name up because I was doing a Jewish thing at the time. So at first I was the Hebrew Hammer as a moniker, and fucking Nate Matson, he tricked me, and I didn't remember Abe Knuckleball Schwartz, and he was like, you should be Abraham Schwartz. So they tricked me for 2 months into being Abraham Schwartz as a joke, and then I said, forget this, I'm Joseph Schwartz, I'm the Hebrew Hammer, and then it was just that. So then I was the Hebrew Hammer, and then years later, I had the opportunity working with Corporal Robinson to just change everything up. I was getting a little bit of I was getting remarks at IWA fans are very creative with their verbiage. And, you know, when you're dressed up like, you know, in all Jewish garb and you're in front of people, they say some pretty fucked up shit. So,
Yeah.
I saw the opportunity to change my gimmick, and I went full babyface to this full monster, maniacal bad guy. And I was, you know, just Joseph Schwartz, but I was like, everyone called me the Gears of Schwartz or whatever, because I had gears all over my stuff. So I was like the super villain. Then I busted my knee, and I was still Joseph Schwartz, but I was the time bandit Joseph Schwartz. I came back as a time traveler because I wanted to switch it up. It seemed prudent. You know, I watched Jimmy Jacobs growing up. I watched a lot of Jericho. Reinventions some people are meant to reinvent often. Some people are not. I saw an opportunity. I took it. And then things started getting a little stale, and I was like not having fun anymore. Wrestling was getting really overflooded. I literally hate to say it, I was going to quit wrestling probably before COVID. I became the Supreme Overlord, but I became the Supreme Overlord because it was just the only way to get angry at everybody and put a mask on it. And over quarantine, I fell back in love with what I meant to do, what I love about wrestling. I found a new passion for like life itself, and I found a new confidence, and that's where big dick energy comes from. I'm just a man who's here to swing it around because I'm loving life.
You know, and I absolutely love that you found this newfound confidence in your skill and your talent in this industry, because, man, I tell you what, that first time I saw you, when you came in and you did that little 619 under the ropes and posed afterwards, man, I was instantly hooked. I was a Schwartzy fan, and I will forever, as long as you are wrestling, man, you have a fan in me. I absolutely loved it.
I'm glad you brought up his whole gimmicks and stuff, because that was one thing that really drew me to you is like you said, it's not for everyone to change things up, but to have something going and to have the confidence, whether you thought you did at different points of your career or not, to change it up, because you could change it up and nobody liked what you did, and you put all this time and energy into changing up, and you've kept yourself relevant, you've kept yourself fresh, you've kept yourself new, and you don't see that as much as a fan as I would like to see people change things up. And but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Nick, because that was one of the things I was going to say is there's a young up and comer that's doing that, TJ Meyer. He was in the business less than a year.
I don't care if I'm not allowed to say that. By the way, I don't care if you're booking me. I don't care if I get heat. I like TJ a lot. TJ's a really good talent. I reached out to him for something I'm doing, and he was booked up, and it made me sad. He's a talent that I think everybody on the Michigan Indies, when Stupid Ass Ohio opens back up, Indiana, where everybody's running, TJ Meyer, Lost Soul, you gotta have him. Gotta have him.
Absolutely. We're all fans of him here.
I had him on a podcast, and he had just changed to the Lost Soul. And, he's like, I was getting bookings every weekend. I was doing really well. I was branching out. I was traveling. But he said, I just thought long-term there's only so much. I couldn't take it any farther. So less than a year in the business, he switches it up already. So, and to have that ability to think, let me change it and not know, because the fans loved him to change it up. I mean, he took a risk, just like you. That's what I'm saying. There's special talent that can do that. You take a risk, and it pays off.
There's also a lot of merch that goes on the wayside. That sucks.
you're changed now to what you're doing now with the big energy. And do you officially have your manager? Is that official?
Randy West, the 2014 Queen of the Death Matches, the unsung hero of female women's deathmatch wrestling, the actual pioneer of women's deathmatch wrestling. And I don't care if that's controversial. That's my across the board belief, is my manager, because she knows how to do it. She is my Harley Race.
All right, and it showed. It showed last week, and you guys worked so great together.
There's a lot of people that say you wouldn't make it without your wife. She's your novelty, and like they can say that. You know, there's some people that's an easy way out. But I'll go on record as saying this: I don't want to do it without my wife, and I don't have to do it without my wife, because my wife has more years in the business than that. So she's my bat.
But we saw you guys come out at Total Chaos, and I was like, because the first time we saw you, it was just you, as when we saw you at Pro Wrestling All-Stars doing this.
Sure.
And then we saw it come out, and I was like, that's it. That is that just completes everything. With her presence and just what she knows to do. I agree with you, everything that you said about her being the original of that. I 100%, I mean, the first time I saw you guys, I was like, there's Randy. And, you know, it was just like, wow, you know, I'm seeing her wrestle here.
Yeah.
But it just completes everything, and it works.
I appreciate that.
It works. It really does.
You know, she's retired in ring right now. She can't do anything. She suffered a neck injury, and she had to go see a brain surgeon and a neck surgeon, and she cleared the brain stuff. We're all good there. No worries. That was the big one. But you know, she can't do it probably ever again. I say probably, but and that's just me being optimistic, but it's not looking good. But she has a lot to offer, and just having her in a locker room, if she could walk over to two female wrestlers and help them with their match while we're just getting ours together, I mean, there's so much now. Like, we have to leave this business better than we found it, because there's a lot of people, especially over COVID, who are trying to tear our business down. There are people that are so mad at wrestling that they're using these bad people as a catalyst to tear wrestling down. There's not a lot of us that are out here doing the hard work. So, like, Randy's a soldier.
So, yeah.
She rocks the shit out of that shoot, too, like a
true
manager, man.
Brandon's joined us.
I'm bringing the BDE on this side.
We got some more BDE coming in.
We got two BDEs pushing each other, kind of swolled up against each other.
It's like the Power Rangers. We're morphing our BDE together to make one Megazord of BDE here. They call that
Boner Champ.
Oh, docking. Yeah, you can call that docking.
But office reference.
But back to the whole the gimmick thing. Just so you know, I'm going to use your nickname for your chance. It just makes sense. The Hebrew Hammer, bringing the BDE Hebrew Hammer with the eggplant. That's going to be my new sign for you, bro.
Gracious. Just come bringing it full circle.
Oh, yeah.
Josh, you got anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, what other promotions have you worked in outside of the pretty much Midwest? You named Ohio, Michigan, Indianapolis, Indiana. Where else have you been?
I worked the last 2 years before COVID. I worked for WWN down in Florida. I did Full Impact Pro, ACW. Randy, as you saw, did a couple Evolve shots when she came to Michigan. But we've been working with the WWN before that all got parted out and sold and not sold and what have you. Hood Slam out in California, Party Hard Wrestling in Arizona, Primo's Pro Wrestling in Colorado. H2O Wrestling out east for Matt Tremont. That's where Randy can be seen. I'm gonna annoy the shit out of him because I know Matt, and I'm gonna try to get over there. But like, trying to think. I forget a lot of the places because of COVID. I'm like, oh, where the fuck do I work? Yeah, those are like the predominant places I work. I had SWF down in Tennessee.
Sounds like you've just been playing out all over the U.S. then, huh?
I try to get around like Tupac, man. I just try.
Yeah.
Life's meant to live.
That's gangster.
From Detroit, man.
But with working with H2O, your wife being in deathmatch, you've done a little bit of deathmatch wrestling too yourself.
I am a former IWA Prince of the
Deathmatch and all of that.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Is that something that's going to be in the past, or is that something we could possibly look forward to in the future?
Let's put it this way. I did a 2.5-year deathmatch stint because my wife did it. And I said, I've been in the business long enough. I want to step up and try this. And I got hooked a little bit, and I had a good run, and it was very good to me. I won like 2 tournaments. I was in King of the Death matches. But it took a toll. It punched my bump card, as they call it, or really, really caught me up to a lot of my injuries I didn't sustain that I was good with. And I had to chill. But it is a tool. It is a tool in my Swiss Army knife. And if Daddy's got to get down, Daddy's going to get down.
So there is a possibility that we might see the BDE death matches.
Absolutely. There's a chance. But I'm a wrestler. Like, I know I come out there and do my thing, but you take your eye off me, I'm going to find your leg. Like you saw, you guys have seen what I do. Like, I like picking apart a body part. That is fun for me. Like, I love that. I love wrestling. I love just whittling away at a human being till they can't do their thing. And I think that's not done enough in wrestling anymore. And you're going to see a lot of that. You are going to see a lot of wrestling, British hold for hold, World of Sport in what I do.
So as
I will throw down and make someone sauce for me if I have to.
So as you said, being trained with Jeff King, you like that whole old school, real technical style of actual wrestling.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't always have to be about the blood and gores and all that. You like that real.
I like violence. I just like
my
violence.
elbow type shit.
Like pick apart. Like I like to torture people. My violence is a little different. Everyone's got a different type of violence.
Joint manipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took it to Ace at TKW.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's just something we don't see anymore, and if you want it, you got to take the lead. So I'm a big Ric Flair, Harley Race. I'm a big old school wrestling fan, and I think there's a way to bring that old school NWA style and hybrid it with current MMA throw catch style, and I think it needs to be done. So I figured I'd step up and try it, and if it fails, it fails. If it's good, it's good.
Well, it's working.
Thank you.
It's working.
Definitely is. You can see it in your promo work. I love your promo work with the props and the garden when you announce your Chaos Arrival.
That's my actual garden,
bro.
That's my actual garden. I grew that over COVID.
That splash pad promo was fucking hilarious, man. The most recent one I seen, you just press that button.
So waiting for the kids to leave the splash pad, by the way, was...
I thought that was the most awkward situation.
So the splash pad's sitting there, and I'm like, we're going there. We're doing that when those kids leave. And we were just sitting there waiting these kids out, and I'm like inching over, and then the kids would come back. I'm like, no, can't big dick yet. Can't big dick. Kids, 2020. We're just inching over, and the sun's coming down. I'm just racing these kids in the splash pad. Try not to be arrested.
So now, again, obviously, forgive my my source of information. You said you did a stint in deathmatch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
How much was that in? It says here CZW.
So I didn't do any death matches there. I was lucky enough when I was the Hebrew Hammer. I came down to Indiana and I worked for a promotion down here called IPW, and I got to work with guys like Ricochet and Chuck Taylor and the Irish Airborne at the time, and Delirious, and I worked with names that like are names now, but like, oh my god, I wish I would have known back then. I guess that's life. But down here, fuck, I lost my point.
You're at IPW, your deathmatch wrestling career.
Yeah, I followed. So I jumped in Drake's car, and I would follow them. And I would drive down from Michigan to Indiana, and then from Indiana I would drive to Philadelphia, and I would do pre-show matches and get my ass kicked. I took a nasty avalanche suplex off the top rope once and tricked all the guys into thinking I died. And I was like, nah, I'm great. What a great day I'm having. And that got me more work. And then I got one of the more controversial matches online. I'm sure you've seen it. Me versus Greg Excellent was in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Hebrew Hammer versus Greg Excellent. And we had a match where we were like, everybody's doing everything. There's nothing not being done. Like, fuck, what do we do? He's like, I'm fat and you're Jewish. And like, what do we got? Like, we're just like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. And we're like, let's break kayfabe. Let's just kind of have a match where we kind of let the crowd in on that we're fucking up as we're going. And that's the match, is we're fucking up until we get to the, and a lot of people praised it. And a lot of people, it's the first time I got Jim Cornetted. I'll tell you that much. That motherfucker.
Cornette. Fuck Jim Cornette.
Fuck Jim Cornette.
See, I fucking love Schwartzy. Fuck Jim Cornette.
Fuck Jim Cornette, that irresponsible bitch.
Fuck
Sorry.
him.
He's so smart. Why is he so irresponsible with his information? But yeah, I had a match and that I was supposed to work there after that, but the guy that was booking got let go, and DJ Hyde did not see any merit in me. So.
Some shit.
No, they missed out.
Definitely.
All comes full circle. It's all good. It wasn't my time.
So since he just got here, Brandon, what do you got for Schwartzy?
I was going to kind of ask questions about your hobbies outside of wrestling. We see the garden you have at your house. I seen one of your posts, and I talked to you Friday at the show about disc golf.
Yep.
Do you have courses as you going around the country wrestling?
Yeah, we've got our van's set up where we put the seats down in the back, and it's basically converted into a camper for me and Randy and whoever goes, so we can travel on the weekends for wrestling. We disc golf everywhere we can. We love disc golfing. I got the garden in the back. That was good for COVID and stuff like that. I was learning how to do that this year. That was a new hobby. I attempted to put in a patio. Now I've just got a big crater in my backyard. That's fucked. But like I play some video games, but that's like a winter time activity. I just kind of like love watching wrestling. I like writing, drawing. I'm very artistic. I like graphic design. I like building shit. Love putting like I'm doing this show right now. It's to keep me busy and to give boys work, but like I'm just like to find projects and stay busy.
Oh, you say you like drawing and graphic designing. Are you the one that came up with this one?
I am.
Yeah,
I do all my own graphics.
I love this design so much. The whole lotus flower coming out and everything. It's what drew me to the shirt when I seen you.
It's indicative of the rebirth of what I'm trying to do.
Nice.
So
Yeah, actually, me and Dan
we talk about what you have coming up. That show that you're doing. You would put
Flophouse?
What?
Flophouse Wrestling?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But before we talk about that, you had put a post up today, and I had mentioned someone that you've had an interesting relationship with here in Michigan, Chuck Stein.
Yes, Chucky.
So you guys have a pretty interesting relationship.
Frenemies.
So Chuck is a big deal here in Michigan, and I put on that post, he doesn't get as well due around the country and whatnot. Talk a little bit about what you guys went through there at Pro Wrestling All-Stars and the story you guys told, being enemies, being together. I just talk a few minutes about that, you and Chuck at Pro Wrestling All-Stars, because that was so entertaining.
Okay. Chuck and I were that's my frenemy. I mean, every wrestler has that frenemy that like at any time we could tag and at any time we could kill each other. We just kind of have a mutual respect, and it's deeper than anything else you could get. So we were tag team champions together. I was unceremoniously let go years ago from Pro Wrestling All-Stars. And I'll leave it at that because it's water under the fridge, as Ricky would say on Trailer Park Boys. So like, you know, I had some time off, and then I came back. I eventually got everything together, and me and Steve worked something out, and I came back, and I was mad at Chuck because he should have stuck up for me. You're supposed to be there for me when I was let go. And our first match back, we were forced to be tag team partners, and the Hoopla show. And that was interesting because we, if we have to work together, we'll work together. But the minute it goes down, we're just going to fight. So, I mean, me and Chuck are always going to be back and forth. It's like Spider-Man and Venom. And honestly, we both switch roles. But it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it was just an interesting dynamic to me how you guys would be. But Flophouse.
Yes.
Flophouse. What's going on with Flophouse?
Flophouse Wrestling. So, I tell wrestlers to travel all the time because you learn something when you see the way other people do their business. By coming up to Michigan, I was very inspired by TKW and like House Party and what other guys are doing up there. And here in Indiana, we're partially open, but we're not completely open. And we have some restrictions. So I know business, I know code. I looked into some codes and looked into this and what can I do? And I found out that I can do a similar thing that was being done with TKW. And I said, fuck yeah. I've got a budget for some deathmatch wrestlers. I can give work to any wrestlers that want some work. I'm going to have beer. It's going to be a closed private party. It's just going to be an all-out good time. We're capping it at 70 people. We've got a death match, a doors match. We've got high flyers. We've got some names coming in, some like indie darling names. I could announce the first match right here if you guys want.
Let's do it.
Should I do that?
Love it.
How about I announce the main event death match that I got?
Sounds
That
great.
would be absolutely amazing.
All right. So the Flophouse Pro Wrestling main event is All Fuckery Goes death match.
Oh, here he goes.
Love it.
Peter B. Beautiful will be coming down to Indiana to take on Big Japan star Josh Crane.
Nice.
Wow.
Really?
Nice.
Now, is
Sounds like a
anyone
road trip,
going
boys.
by chance?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I said this. I just saying this might be a road trip here again, boys.
You guys are so welcome.
It's a possibility. Is there any kind of like workings with any type of company to get this to like an IWTV or any type of live situation?
I've sent some messages out to IWTV, and I have somebody that's works with the company, and we are actively trying to put this on IWTV, yes.
As soon as you get that deal worked out, please let me be one of the first you message so I can get that going, because I would love to see that if I can't make it down there.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. But that's what we got going. That's our main event. That's going to close it out. I'm talking to some other Michigan guys that haven't come down here, and we're going to give everyone a chance. Like, the idea behind Flophouse Wrestling is, A, we're going to have some fucking fun with no drama, and B, there's a lot of people that have, everyone talks about, it's 2020, everybody gets a chance to eat. Everyone's going to get to sit at the table, and then they kind of bogart the seats at the table once they sit there. This is for people that deserve a chance. I've had people that are working for GCW and other big promotions hit me up, and I say, no, cuz you're already eating pretty good, and that's good. But it's time for other people to eat.
So is that where your Facebook post came from? You're trying to figure out, the most, underrated or unnoticed independent.
I was
you
literally going to book whoever everyone felt was the most underrated that I could get.
That is absolutely amazing, man, for you to put this stuff together and give these lower guys in this industry that big of a chance.
And the thing is they're not lower guys. They're just guys that haven't been given a shot to kick ass and take names. That's all they need.
From what I've seen of doing this, it's who you can get in front of and who can see you.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's you got to be lucky where you're at that day, in that moment, on that hour.
But yeah, we were excited when we saw the Flophouse stuff coming out on your social media.
Inspired by Michigan.
So we were excited to see all that. Josh, do you have anything else for him?
Dude, I love the name Flophouse too, by the way. I think that's freaking fantastic.
Because we're going to get Flophouse fucked up and we're going to have a wrestling show.
Nice.
But speaking of the IWTV and going back to the garden, I see you posted something about trying to get your own gardening show. If that don't work out with IWTV, would you possibly do a YouTube version?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Absolutely. I mean, if IWTV is not interested, Pie Spots wants it, I don't care. I'm here to just kind of put out content for the people. Whoever wants to distribute it, that's fine by me. As long as they don't do shit business, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Nick, you got anything else for him?
There was plenty up until I figured, that the internet's bullshit.
The internet is horse shit.
You believe the internet?
But, hey, it's what I get for fucking Google searching. But when was your actual breakout year, your debut year that you got into the business?
2000. So I mean, it's 2006 because of the reffing.
So your in-ring career started in 2007. Your actual wrestling,
Yeah, but I do count. I don't count my training, but I count the year I was in a ring as a referee because I was busting my ass, working my ass off.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, like at first I was like, this isn't wrestling, and then about 2 months in, I'm like, fuck this, I'm in the business now. Like I just, they're like, yeah, you are. What'd you think you were doing? Good.
So, it says that you've had quite a few titles underneath your belt here. A lot of them tag team titles. What was your, I guess, I don't know how to put it, like the biggest accomplishment when it came to winning your favorite title you've held?
NWA,
the one that meant the most.
The NWA United States title.
Nice. I actually looking at that right there. Yeah.
Forever.
And you held that for, it says, over 200 days, almost 300?
Over 300, almost 300 days. Almost a full fucking year. I was almost there.
Yeah,
I mean, we all know how wrestling works, but man, that was my favorite title. And it was at a time NWA was a little rogue, and the promoters down here had purchased the rights to the NWA United States title.
Mm-hmm.
And I was traveling, so I was the guy to defend it, and I defended it everywhere I could. I went all over the United States and defended the NWA United States title. And I just, whether it was noticed or not, that's how it's supposed to be done.
And as far as tag teams, what would your favorite tag team that you were in while holding one of the many tag team titles you've had?
Oh, it's so hard to say because they're just all different. I wrestled Moxley and Ricochet and all these other guys when I was tagging with Sean Tyler as the Kosher Club. Those were good matches, but we were young. So older, tagging with my wife and intergender matches with men and like rocking out hard. And I know that sounds biased, but she's like my favorite partner. But it's all been like different success I've all looked at the same between those two. I've had good matches with Zodiac and Satu Jin and other people as my partners. I'm really good at multi-man wrestling. That's why I'm doing singles now, because I need something different. I'm everybody's makeshift partner, which is just kind of getting a little annoying. But
yeah.
I'd say Sean and Randy are tied because they were just two different types of success.
Oh, absolutely. And I
definitely
held the
HWA, Heartland Wrestling Association tag titles, and when back in my day, HWA was cool. So, Cody Hawk was running it and shit.
We're actually going to interview Sean tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're interviewing
Tell him
Sean.
I called him Marty just to fuck with him.
All right. We'll say.
I love Sean.
I can't be on that fucking interview.
We'll say Schwartzy said hi, Marty.
Dread King, by the way, I have to tell you, Dread King says ARG. So, mandatory shout out.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Dread King's my homeboy.
I love Verdi, but Dread King's an asshole.
Dread King's the last sour around here, except for Gooch.
He gave me a good push on Friday because I told him I was chanting at him, "Not my king," and he shoved me really good.
Not in 2020. We don't
learn who your king is. So,
Brandon, you got anything for him?
you came in late, so
I'm sure all the
book,
questions
man.
been asked. I was just here because I just wanted to, talk to the man again. Every show we get to see him. No, I just want to say, dude, I love like the comedy aspect of everything you do. Like,
Thank you.
Is it like off the top of your head, or you got that kind of?
Yeah, it's not funny if it's not organic.
Right.
I have a weird way I do things. I have like, even though it feels organized, it's like it's just got to be. I try to one take everything as best I can. Just organic's the best.
Lock in that figure 4 and you do the
little thrust.
It's a lot of yoga. The amount of yoga that goes into having to be able to do that in arm strength sucks.
Next time you're up here and you see us, I want you to point at me when you're doing it. Like,
you're going to look at me during?
Yes. Right.
Why don't you look at me during?
Eyes.
Locked eyes. Look. I'm done.
Yeah.
Josh,
a whole section of us.
Oh, God damn it.
Josh,
no, man, I'm just fucking basking in all this BDE energy, baby. That's all, man. It's out of control.
It's out of control. It's running wild. Fuck Hulkamania.
That's
Big
right.
Dickomania.
Big Dickomania. Where can people find you out there on social media?
On Facebook, you can just friend me as Joseph Schwartz. I'm under my name. I don't care. Just don't be toting no Confederate flags and shit, and we're good. Just had general courtesy. I'll friend you, and then I might unfriend you if you like. But on Twitter, and you can follow me on Instagram under the same handle @Gears of Schwartz. You can follow me on there. I'm on there quite often touting my opinion that does not matter one fucking bit. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm mostly on Facebook.
So Facebook would where everyone will see any updates and what's going on at the Flophouse.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them on my Twitter too. I'm gonna be active on that, but I prefer Facebook. I mean, you can DM me on Twitter if you need it. If there's anybody out there that wants to get tickets to the show, if you're a wrestler and want to be a part of the show, I don't care. You don't be embarrassed to hit me up. Oh, I didn't want to hit you up, brother. Fuck that. You want to wrestle? Holler at me. We're here to have a good time. I'm sick of this formality bullshit. We're all friends here.
Well, Schwartzy, we loved having you on.
I love being here. You guys are great.
And we'll definitely have to do this again down the road because you bring that energy and your charisma is just off the charts.
I appreciate it, guys. I really do. We could my career doesn't thrive without people like you. Like, it just doesn't. Genuinely.
And we thank you. We're looking forward when we do get the opportunity to see you here back here in Michigan. I know you're from here, right?
I live in Indianapolis.
But you're from here, though. Right?
I'm originally from yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to see when you come back. Hopefully, we can get that Flophouse going for the people. May either be something where it can be streamed, so people can see it. More than just in going, the 70 people that's allowed to go. Hopefully, we'll be able to broaden that to a wider audience. But
definitely.
Appreciate. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
I'm good. If you want to, like I said, you know where the guys to follow me. Y'all know where to follow me on the social medias. And I will be in Southwest Detroit this weekend for Pro Wrestling All-Stars. And I'll be at UWF in South Bend, Indiana on Saturday. And, man, I'm looking to break legs.
Well, just out of curiosity, is there an actual website or any type of Pro Wrestling Tees page where people can find your merch at?
So you can, but it's my older merch, and hey, I'm trying to update it, but they don't. They're the worst. I can't deal with their back end, the way they have their whole. They just don't let me. But I do have merch on there. If you want old bomb shelter merch, there are a lot of people that like the old logo and stuff. As you can see down here, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see. I'm an idiot. The little logo down here, but. There's like a Brotherhood t-shirt on there that a lot of the boys like. But Pro Wrestling Tees, look me up, Joseph Schwartz. But if you don't want to give money to Pro Wrestling Tees, I'm down with that. I don't care.
Nah, I'd rather my money go right to you, brother.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's even getting difficult as a fan wanting to buy merch from them too.
Yikes.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Dan's had quite a few problems with them here in this past year.
No bueno.
They'll ship my stuff I'm in Michigan. They'll ship my stuff to Kentucky. Happens all the time.
Sucks.
I ordered a shirt and it took over 2.5 months to get it to me because they shipped it to different places.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago to Detroit is not far.
No, it's not. It's a straight shot.
And it even actually went back to Pro Wrestling Tees, and they had to send it to a different address here. Yeah, it was bad.
Fuck.
I was so upset. So
Cole Cabana, you got some splaining to do.
that's right. That's right.
Where's my t-shirts? Where's my t-shirts?
But you have all your merch with you when you're at your shows.
I do. I carry everything, and I'm re-releasing in 2 weeks the energy drink. But it will be under a new energy label, and I'm sure you guys can understand and fathom what it might be called.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to
Save some for the boys.
Yeah, a couple for us.
And I'm serving them cold. I bring a cooler, too.
I have a nice 8x10 hanging on the wall here in the studio of you. So you got 8x10s, you got shirts. Yep. Josh has got him behind him. I don't know if you can see him.
I do. I can see that handsome chap
Just staring right back at you.
Hey.
There it is.
Hey, handsome, what you doing?
I'll put that on a t-shirt.
Well, once again, we appreciate you. We're happy to have you on. We love seeing you out there. Keep up what you're doing. We love what you're doing with Flophouse, giving these guys an opportunity that might not always get the first opportunity. So that is awesome that what you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Hey, it was our pleasure, man. It was our pleasure. Everyone, big dick energy from Joseph Schwartz. Thank you, my friend.
Big dick energy, baby.
That's right.